Hi and welcome to my next little tutorial on propagation. I was asked to do one on geranium cuttings because they can be quite tricky. So this is what we're going to do. Just a few little one-on-ones really to get you started. Pots, when you do your cuttings, try and get a small pot. If you put a cutting in a big pot, they don't strike very well because they seem to get lost. Possibly because the volume of compost, it holds too much moisture. So a smaller pot, for some reason, they like getting their feet in a more narrow kind of pot, really. Okay, so we're going to use a little pot like that. While I'm doing this one, I've already knocked the compost down, okay, because you've seen that a couple of times, so you should know what you're doing with that. Level, don't firm it down at all, nice and level. Okay, now when it comes to taking cuttings, make sure that your plant's already watered. Okay, if you take them from a dry plant, you will be stuck because it will not work. They will be struggling. Okay. Just a quick one with doing deadheading here. Don't be frightened to snap the dead flowers off if you ever do any deadheading in the future. Don't just cut the tops off. There's nothing worse than seeing a chopsticked plant. So you can take the whole stem out. Okay, don't need that. Right. Stage 2. Now, okay, it's not because I'm rubbish at doing cuttings. This is a plaster. When I teach this, I use this as what's called a stop guard. Okay. A bazillion years ago, I used to work in a nursery with thumbprint recognition. And when you do cuttings, you leave loads of cuts on your thumb. What tends to happen is you can't get out of work. So this is what we used to do, and this is how we used to teach it. So you put plaster on. All right. Okay. You've heard of you ever heard the phrase measure twice, cut once? So the plaster acts as a stop, as a guard. So when you're working with it, that's fine. This is my gardening knife. That's how I hold it. Okay, like that is very good for like doing pruning, but not for doing cuttings. You want to hold it slightly further up. Okay, this is an optional number 7 quality garden knife. If you want to get somebody a good garden knife, brilliant, because they're nice and safe. They don't knock over. For those of you without a fancy garden knife, because I like the challenge, I brought my friend in Stanley. So you can use a Stanley knife to do this as well, which is what we're going to do. Okay, so I'll move the pot for now. Find our cutting. Now, hopefully you can see this. Just take the ones off the top, okay, and you'll need to cut it just below what's called a leaf node or a leaf joint. Okay, so we're going to go under. This is what the stop's for, and then I can hold cutting like that. Not rehearsed this, by the way, so this should be hilarious. Okay, so there's a little cutting. I'll just take the leaves off. You can see. Get it off. Flower stem. You don't need flower stems when you're doing cuttings because they put all the energy into the flower spikes. You don't want it. Okay. Now, these little things here, these little leaves here, I hope you can see. They're called stipules. You leave them on if you're doing geraniums and you're in a world of pain because it will just rot out and take the cutting. That's why most people go wrong. Okay. So generally speaking, they must come off. All right, so you take them off. Like that. Now, got too much leaf on there, the cutting will dry out. So really speaking, you need to reduce the leaf. So we take the leaf. That's too many. Yeah, that's too many. You only want a ratio of about 20% leaf to your cutting, because if it's got too much leaf, it'll collapse because it's got no roots. All right. So just to underneath the leaf joint there, you can use a bit of wood and score it, all right, but I'm a bit more confident with doing it this way. I can see. So remove these stipules like that. You want it nice and clean. If you take them off, probably 80% of your cuttings will take. If you leave them on, 80% of your cuttings will peg it. They'll just die. So get off as many as you can. Right. So really that's what you're kind of looking for your cutting. It's about a little over length of a matchstick, a couple of bits of leaf on the top, nice clean stem, nice clean cuts, in your cut, straight in. Okay, like that. A little bit of a firm. Your squeezy bottles. I do get these off the internet, Craig. I know you're watching it. Okay. Let it soak in. So yeah, if you ever need to sterilise blades, really, WD-40 works quite well. Cleans the sap off. and it pretty much nukes everything on it. I tend to use that for my knives as well. This one, you can then just put a little bag over the top. It doesn't want to be scorched off in some glass ice. It wants to be somewhere sunny. And if you keep a bag over the top and tie it up, it keeps the humidity in. Sunny window ledge, jobs are good. And that is how you would do a geranium cutting. If anybody wants to know how to do them, again, I'll show you again with a different one. That's also the same principle for pretty much any other cuttings. All right. So if you want plants for free, that's a good start. Have a look at my video on doing carnations and stuff as well, and it gives you an idea, and I'll do a few more as we go. Okay, so good luck with that, and let's see you get some plants for now.